Well, I've recovered from my panic status. We're back. Last mission went to hell fast. Uh. And part of the reason we just ended up being my expectations of it. Like, I've resolved every mission with varying degrees of success, but I have resolved every mission. I don't know whether that's a matter of me bringing rooks, or whether, like, Diathros ended up being quickly slammed in the brain. Max McMahon went under alien mind control there for a bit, and they're ultimately the ones who both got left behind, right? Almost seems fitting in a way for the Purity Run, even Purity Run, to want to burn them out. Viking died. Magic Mike, unfortunately, met a tragic end. The only non-asterisk, non-immediately, mind-controlled individual. The tank ended up suffering just a pretty poor, and as noted, I would have stayed had our gloriously powerful Jeff Porkins not been wounded as well. Now, he's going to be out for 53 days. That's beyond the scope of this series. Jeff could have had his death there, but I was not willing for that to be true. Something I've learned here about the gameplay, and this would be a lesson I would take with me should I revisit this game, and I don't know, when I would actually play XCOM UFO Defense again. I've said before at the start of the series that it just doesn't really appeal to me, although I think I am competent at it. And I wanted to add some greater challenge and interest for me this run by doing the Human Purity Run, but something I had not expected, and this would just end up being game unfamiliarity, or perhaps luck, is how many of my soldiers would end up being wounded, not killed, directly by enemy fire. And however many of our people, our 26 people, had actually ended up dying due to, bleeding out from fatal wounds. When I'd started this process, I'm like, the medikit, what the hell ever, it's not going to be that big of a deal, because none of my soldiers are going to have armor, and we're going to get to the point where, they just end up getting one-shotted. However, it ends up being the situation where we're in April now, and while soldiers are still getting one-shotted, there's a number of folks, particularly those who have extra health, who don't end up getting one-shotted. They get hit by a fluke, they only get ended up tapped once, and there's actually a possibility for me to save them. Now, whether I would end up having a medic in range, whether I would end up wanting to sacrifice those time units to try and restore a person, whether that person would end up having a medkit, I don't know. But it's enough for me to consider that, going after the medikit might not have been the worst thing. Now, do keep in mind, I've only had a limited number of research time, limited amount. One of the difficulties of this Human Purity Run, where I haven't had that much money, is I haven't been able to quickly escalate the amount of scientists I have researching shit. Sorry. Let's actually utilize the interface correctly. A laboratory is 750,000. Every scientist is 60,000. You're paying half of that initial hiring cost every month in salary, maintenance costs. And we certainly need plenty more research hours. We need a lot more manpower in order for us to fully flesh out the chain that's required for us to win the damn game. Because we have to figure out, where the hell that Sidonian base is, and then we have to build a craft capable of reaching that point for a last gasp mission. And shit, it's just been They've been rough. I'm not panicked and distraught anymore, but it just ends up being one of those situations where just, you know, it's a reflection. It's worth thinking about and learning from. You know, should the Golden Throne or, you know, humanity have to defend itself again at a future time, or really just a learning lesson for anyone else who's thinking about playing the game for whatever reason. Other takeaways from this, I suppose, and this can end up being mentioned in the comments for last video, I suppose, you know, I rewatched chunks of that last video while I was recovering from my panic, and reflecting back on it, I'm just thinking of, like, how did I misplay that situation, like, mistakes that were made. Viking being exposed, as they were to that cyberdisk wheeling around, because I knew cyberdisk would be on the map. That was a problem. Magic Mike running up there into that elevated like area, that was a problem too. Jeff Porkins being hit by an errant lucky shot like that in and of itself, like that's going to happen. As is the case with units being mind controlled, and we did kill a good solid chunk of aliens on that map, despite everything. You know, we only ended up losing 333 points there. We lost 2 operatives, and 2 ended up getting ditched due to their morale just being absolutely shattered, as was mine, but at least I was able to control them to get them back on the ship. At that point, it's possible, particularly since, you know, like a wounded Jeff is not going to be able to participate more in this series, and I could have tried to slog ahead. I did destroy, you know, those cyber disks. And I could have endured, you know, the pain and anguish, as it were, and secured a victory there. We've also, I mean, we've seen 2 other terror missions, like, those cyber disks, man, are hell. Like, chrysalids, which we haven't seen, which is both cool and awful, because I would have liked to have shown off dealing with chrysalids. Like, chrysalids are certainly the premier, oh my fucking Christ, particularly whenever you can't fly away from them. You know, with the ridiculous amount of time units and the fact that they can just love tap you and your soldier is fucked. But cyber disks, with their exploding area of effect, the fact that, you know, they can shoot a lot of times in a turn, the fact that they can fly around and appear in, you know, non-conventional angles, they're far more dangerous than what floaters are. Actually, maybe not far more dangerous. They're more dangerous, though, for sure. And these past 2 videos have ended up being a testament, perhaps, to the hubris of mankind. Or perhaps the aliens have been sandbagging us all this time, and as All Dragon suggested, the, alien version of Grimith appeared, and basically told everything to get fucked. So, I have 1 interceptor with intercepting capability in North America. I have nothing over here in Europe. I don't have the funds to order anything more in Europe. Like, the amount of losses, not to mention the tank. And with soldier replacements, that's over 2 million in assets that we lost. That's rough. Score-wise, sorry, I'm derping out right now. I said I'm derping out right now. It's not looking too good for us. We still have a non-zero number in April. It's above 0. It's positive. But holy lord. And, of course, that alien base is going to continue to be a drip on that. most of our living quarters space is being taken up by wounded people, which is funny in a sad way. How many do we actually have who could, like, go active right now? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're gonna order another 4 to make 13. And this is a situation of, like, I could wait for people to recover, you know. Will, Larian, and Thorak. Well, Will and Larian are gonna be on the board soon. And then with the other 4 soldiers, we can give 4 new people a chance. I mean, it seems really dumb for me to take them into an alien base. But we could give them a chance to be in the series. Sleeves, like, still in the triple digits of names of people who have not played in the series, whose names I gathered. Got a living quarters coming up in 13 days. Was I building living quarters in the other bases? I sure was. I sure was, because I wanted to give them, like, token allotments as soldiers. I have enjoyed this series. It certainly had its ebbs and flows, particularly over this year, as my throat has collapsed, as it did. But, one of the comforts of playing, you know, a turn-based strategy game, at least, like, in the battle, like, the tactical battle maps, is that, like, you can take breaks, you can come back, you can look at things, you can, like, ask for viewer input, so long as you don't take such a long, like, too long of a break, where it's like, what the fuck was I doing? You know, I think this is a game that holds up pretty well in that regard. Like, there are complexities in it, but you could still be away from the game for a long time and come back to it and mesh right in. So we have that, at least. We've ordered a bunch of things. Good thing we have all those avalanche missiles, right? Oh, shit. Let's actually take a look at the equipment here of the Lance. This is, I can analyze it all. We still have the 2 heavy cannons, the 2 autocannons, and the 2 rocket launchers. We're down to 4 laser rifles. That's understandable. I suppose another query I end up having, and this is just like a general open air question, would be to ask how useful would these 3 be over, say, laser rifles if I were to assault the sectoid alien base? I presume it's sectoids. I mean, I guess it doesn't have to be sectoids. It could be floaters. But no, those were sectoid supply ships. It's a sectoid alien base. With a sectoid commander, sectoid leaders, mind control. Ugh. Floaters, can you establish a base? And it's worth sacrificing just about anything to get a piece of that commander. Would the heavy cannons, autocannons, and rocket launchers do it for me? Also, we don't know who the next black hole would be. Diathros is dead. Missing in action, presumed dead. Good thing we didn't tell him much in the way of secrets. So these 4 were the unwounded ones from that last mission. They saw some serious shit. Okay. We're gonna need over 200,000 banked up. There's something I want to get rid of. That I could actually keep the money for. The avalanche missiles. Like, this was... All of the assets we've lost is a mammoth setback in the game, make no mistake. But it's not a fail state. You know, we are playing only on Genius difficulty. I say only on that, right? Oh, we got a new Rook arriving. Hey, Rook. Grimith did not pull open the names list. Grimith apologizes. Soldier names. Where are we at now on the list? Let's see here. We're at WBK. Okay. Fun to see Jeff Porkins' name at the top of my soldier names list, along with Larian, still alive, Carlito, still alive, Large McMahon Huge. Rest in pepperoni. What a mammoth fucking list still. Good heavens. No, we'd be beating the submission on this one. For sure. And without enough positive missions, this would end up being a negative score month for us. I'm sure there are going to be nations who are upset. And of course, if you stack in, like, what is it for Genius? I know I've said this before, like, over the course of the series. Is it negative 600? With, like, Superhuman being, like, negative 500? If your score goes too low for, like, consecutive, for two months, they have to be consecutive, XCOM project is terminated and you lose. Alright, here. So we have... Very poor shooter. High throwing accuracy, low strength. You shall be Troll. Linda Larson, you shall be Jeff or Chris. 40 strength starting off. Fighting accuracy 52, bravery of 60, health of 25, reactions 33. Rafal Jablonski, 78 throwing accuracy, but 22 strength. You are Robin Hood. And Jules, 37 strength, decent firing accuracy. You are Xanath Starwind. Which means unless we get another soldier, honorable mention would end up going to the person next on the list, which is Cuban Pete. Shit. I love how I'm gonna take a bunch of rooks into this damn alien base. Untested, unproven rooks who've never been on a mission before, and I'm gonna take them into an alien base. This is how it ends. This is how it ends. I don't think the goal here is me trying to take this commander. I think the goal here is me trying to fucking survive to see a commander. Like, even if we kill the commander, that feels like a fucking victory with this team. You come on down. Jeff, Eggball, CYX78 Boy, Will, Larian, Thorak. You're here in case everything goes to hell. Everything. If only it wasn't so annoying to scroll people up with this interface. Okay. What a team. What a team. We have enough money now that we can start manufacturing the laser rifles. So we'll get right on that. If a nice, convenient, friendly UFO shoots out, thinking about transferring. Well, I have been considering this over the course of this video, transferring Falling Dagger over to the Golden Throne. What a rough spot. But humanity was already in a rough spot. Highs and lows here on Earth. Oh shit. That's right. We even got a notification about it that I just completely blanked on. Our interceptor at the hive arrived, which means I should name that too. I think this is an appropriate name given the situation. USS get fucked. I don't know whether I feel like doing another mission, though. Because aggressive paid off for us so well last time, right, guys? Okay. You know, we should probably take the rooks out on the mission, right? I can't believe I'm fucking talking myself into this. I mean, wouldn't want them to just be rooks, right? Wait. We need to stop. We need to stop. It's a good thing I caught that. It's a good thing I caught that, because that would have made this shit even worse. Holy hell. Alright. Crash Site 13. This is to build more morale back up, everyone. Or to just see it tumble even further. Good lord. You know, at least all these new folks get to come out on a mission. And who knows, some of them might die. And Cube and Pete might get a crack at it. Alright, folks. Take care. I'll talk to you later.